All right, guys, let's have a look at Apple very quickly here. So from its highs, it has pulled back about 8%. So cracked below 50-day moving average on my chart. This is this yellow line. And we have a 200-day moving average somewhere around here, 215, 217. So can it pull back a little bit more from its highs, maybe even 15%? So this is something I'm watching for the stock. But there's also a lot of people right here were laughing, and they were pretty I mean, the internet is getting crazy. Very disrespectful when Warren Buffett was selling right here, and he has sold almost 67% of his stake in Apple, and started buying some other names that pay dividend. I mean, Apple pays pretty good dividend as well, but maybe he has sold more. But we're going to see some filing come through after January. But so far, 67%. If he sold more, I don't know. But just for the context, where he bought, a lot of people just, think that, look at 2018, 2019 pullbacks where Apple was trading around like 35, 40. This is where he accumulated most of his stake, and he sold somewhere around here. Now we are right back to that price of where he sold. So is he still genius, or he timed it poorly? I don't know, but there are a few things. Earnings kicking in Q4 is pretty much banks are going to be starting reporting earnings next week, and there's also a headline about them rising the CEO's pay 18%, and company opposes anti-diversity measures. Bloomberg. Okay, Cook's compensation grew to $74.6 million in 2024 compared to $63 prior year. Apple said an annual proxy filing on Friday. In addition to executive compensation, investors will vote on 4 outside proposals at the meeting on February 25th. Okay, so we have a lot of time until then, but you can go through this yourself. So earnings scheduled so far for 1:30 aftermarket close 30th of January. So up until then, we have overall market trying to pull back. If you take a look at the S&P 500 heat map on Friday, we had pretty much you can see where people were hiding. They were going to pick up some healthcare names, some consumer staple names, some energy names, but everything else, tech, pretty much sold off, okay, including Apple. So Apple was 2.4% down. And, well, this 236, I was watching as sort of this breakout area as a support area, this breakout area. Well, we held right there. I'm not sure how long it's going to stay there. But this candlestick, I mean, if you just take a look at this price action right here, I mean, there's not much of an accumulation was happening, and you could see pretty much it was profit taking. Okay, I'm not going to say that everybody was betting against it. I mean, there were definitely some option buyers who I saw buying puts, but profit taking, okay, and can it pull back more with the market? Possible, very, very likely. And if you think that 8% is a discount, I mean, it's up to you. You have to talk to your financial advisor to decide whether it is a deal or not. I'm looking at somewhere around $220, $218 levels, which would be 15% correction for Apple. So it hasn't tested its 200-day moving average since the beginning of the 2024. Or in the beginning of the year, you can see what it has done after it had huge 2023 first half of the year. Stock was actually in a very, very it looked like bearish. It was in a sort of a longer correction phase, just like Tesla, before it did start pushing, because it was not looking good in the beginning of the year. Ever since, it has not tested that 200-day moving average. So it is going to be very pivotal level if it does test it in the near future, which would mean that if it pulls back another 7% or so, 7.5% or so, it would bring the stock to these levels. In terms of option activity, just for the Friday alone, you can see 716,000 calls traded, 676,000 puts traded. And if you take a look at the puts that are being purchased and bought and sold, yeah, slightly more call selling to the bidder, which means it could be people just doing covered calls and just taking advantage of the calls, selling them, collecting premium, and then a little bit more put buying at the asking price, which means maybe ultra short term people are hedging or betting to the downside for the stock in terms of option activity. Going into the this week is going to be pretty big option expiration, January 17th. Stock is implying that it can move $6.60 up or down. IV is not crazy for Apple, okay? And volume hasn't been too much as well. So 1.3 million total option volume traded. But this is what I'm watching. I'm watching for a little bit more pullback if we just don't stay above 50-day. But if it does break above 50-day, and if it recovers it, and if it tries to push, I would expect basically sellers show up at these levels. So all-time highs 260. That's the resistance area I would be watching for Apple stock. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next update. Don't forget to like, subscribe, check the links below. Take care. Peace.